Lamu Old Town is perhaps the oldest and best preserved Swahili settlement in Kenya. The ancient town that was built in the 14th century is located on the East African coast. It's one of the places where early Chinese mariners made contact with East African merchants through the ancient maritime Silk Road. Today, the new Maritime Silk Road is a key component of the Belt and Road Initiative. CGTN's Wilke Senyawa visited Lamu and tells us more about this unique place along the Kenyan coast.
Hi everyone, my name is Wilkista, and if you're wondering why I'm in a bright orange jacket and why it's a bit windy, well, it's because I am on a boat on the Indian Ocean headed to Lamu. Now here are a few fun facts about Lamu. Lamu is a very, very old Kenyan town, and it is located on an island. So the mode of transport of getting there is by boat. And once on the island, one can move around either on foot, on a motorcycle, or by riding on a donkey. So Lamu is a place with a rich culture, a rich history, and it has facilitated people-to-people exchanges for years through history. So our first destination is a place where we are going to learn a little bit more about that and how the ripples of those interactions continue to be felt even today. This is Lamu Fort. It is also one of 5 different centers that together make up the Lamu Museums. Now, Lamu is a place that is rich in cultural history. It was once an important East African trading hub, and during that time, traders here came into contact with traders in different other parts of the world. Let's go inside, meet the curator, and learn a little bit more about the history of Lamu.
We are at the Lamu Fort, which is perhaps the most prominent building within the Lamu Old Town. Lamu Fort was constructed in 1813 and completed in 1821. Purpose for its construction was that it was a defense building. So for most of its time, it actually served as a prison until 1984 or thereabouts.
And then it became a museum. Today, several displays tell the stories of Lamu's past. In the 17th century, Chinese products found their way to East Africa through Swahili merchants who sold raw materials like game trophies and precious metals to Indian traders.
And in return, these cities received a lot of manufactured goods, including clothing, items of clothing, arms, furniture, jewelry, and of course, notably was porcelain. So initially, straight from China, it came through India, and Indian merchants were able to sell it to East Africa, where it had gained a lot of popularity as an item that you display in the homes.
Thousands of these artifacts of Chinese origin have since been recovered from old family collections, archaeological sites, and even the site of a Chinese shipwreck. Now, a good number of Chinese artifacts are housed here within Lamu Museum's archaeology section, and here we are able to see Celadon bowls as well as porcelain plates, just valuable items dating back in time. Historians here at the museum tell us that from these collections, they are able to tell when they were manufactured, where they were manufactured, as well as about the interactions and engagements that brought them here.
For example, the Celadon, you might be able to tell from which dynasty and which specific factories in China were concerned in its production. So its frequency in a particular site enables us to determine that this site was possibly inhabited between that specific time period. Number 21, that's a typical Chinese bowl. But if you look at it, the glazing is still very intact. And that just demonstrates the quality of the ceramic. These particular antiquity pieces are still sought after by collectors And of course, as museums, we try to find them, especially in their location. That is mostly archaeological sites or within the owner families.
The face of Lamu continues to change and change again. Today it's primarily known as a tourist attraction, with thousands of people from across the globe arriving here every year in search of sun, sand and fun. And indeed they do find it, but that's not the only thing that they come looking for. Some want to hear the stories of the descendants of Chinese sailors who settled in another remote island after a shipwreck. Others want to find out more about the history of the Chinese artifacts, as the maritime Silk Road, which linked the east to the west, leads the way to today's Belt and Road initiative.
And that is why we have embarked on an exercise to expand that exhibition so it is more meaningful to the increasing number of Chinese visitors to Lamu.
And as Africa and China continue to interact, we do see that the possibilities of a shared future continue to increase. Wilkis Anyabwa, CGTN in Lamu, Kenya.